Okay guys, what is going on, and welcome to my Mass Effect 4 video. Now guys, let me just say one thing very seriously right now. I've been having a very horrible nightmare for the past few months. I've been having this nightmare every single night. Every single time I wake up screaming from this nightmare is the same thing. Now, some of you may know what this is. Some of you may have the same nightmare. Some of you might understand what I'm going through. But the nightmare that I'm having is called the ending to Mass Effect 3. Now, I don't think I need to explain to everybody the endings to Mass Effect 3. There's probably a lot of you out there that know the endings better than me because, to be honest, by the time the Extended Cut DLC came out, I had completely lost interest in most of the things Mass Effect related. So, really, I don't think I can go in depth as much as I would want to go in depth when I'm making statements like these. But the thing is, I don't really get how the Mass Effect storyline is going to progress from that point. The problem is that the Control ending, for example, is very bad because, from my point of view, Shepard, when he gets disintegrated by that thing and he takes control of the Reapers, that one Reaper that sort of like is now everything that Shepard stood for. Yeah, that Reaper is not going to be very nice, especially if Shepard was a renegade, because I know I never played a renegade Shepard because I just couldn't play it because I didn't enjoy it. I'll just be honest and say it. When I was playing Mass Effect 1, I tried to play Renegade. I got about halfway through the game and then I stopped playing it because I really didn't like being a dick to people and, in some cases, just flat out killing people that I could otherwise save, because I really do try, at least to some degree, to do the right thing when I'm playing games, just because that's how my personality is, and that is what I want to do in games. I want to be good, save people, and just, have my cape and helmet and be the hero that everybody looks up to, I guess. But anyway, the problem is that if Shepard now has control of every single Reaper, he is not going to be the best person to have control of all of that. Now, if we do the math, and I have a piece of paper right here in front of me, the Derelict Reaper in Mass Effect 2, where we go on the mission to get the IFF, like at the end of the game, somewhat to the end of the game, that Reaper has been dead for something like 36 million years. Now, the thing is, the cycle repeats itself every 50,000 years. So, 50,000 years, that is equals one Reaper by their collection method. I suppose there could be more than one per cycle, but it might be no Reapers in that specific cycle, so we really don't know. But if we guess that one Reaper is what comes out of one harvesting every 50,000 years, in 36 million years, there should be about 600 or more Reapers. Now, I don't really know how long this thing has been going on for, but I can guess there aren't really that many Reapers. There could be a couple thousand, tens of thousands of Reapers, like let's say 10, 20,000 Reapers max. But that is a long, very long time if you think about it. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is that Shepard will cause problems. He will essentially become the very problem that he was trying to solve, and that will piss me off. I'll be honest, if that turns out to be the case, I will not be buying Mass Effect 4, or whatever it's going to be called. And then the other problem is, right, if we just put the control ending aside, it essentially makes Shepard Hitler in Reaper form with an army of god machines at his disposal that he can control. Yeah, that is not going to be good, and somebody's going to have to fix that at some point. If we go and look at the destroy ending, I don't care what BioWare says. At the end of that fight, especially if your EMS was low, every single species in the universe is now dead. I just want to get that point across, okay? The problem is, they hit the Batarians very bad. After the relay exploded in Arrival, they were in a very, very bad shape. And then they actually... That actually pisses me off, but I'm not going to get into it because this is not a review of Mass Effect 3. This is talking about the future of the series, so let's just carry on. They basically, even, I think it was Anderson that said it, the Batarians are basically wiped out. So that is one species down. The Turians were trying to hold off the Reapers, and they had something like, if I remember correctly from playing the game, something like 94-95% KIA, killed in action. So that is them wiped off the board, because the remaining people, soldiers mostly, went with us on Earth and are now stuck there with no food. Even though in the endings it shows that they will repair the relays, it is going to take time. The only thing is, we know that we've tried to tell anybody who would listen, this is a problem, this needs fixing, we need to know how everything works, but nobody would listen except for Shorben. But anyway, problem is, even if they try to repair the relays, there's no guarantee that they know how to calibrate them. I mean, Garrus might be able to do it, but he could be dead. He could be dead in Mass Effect 2. So the thing is, there's no guarantee that they can even get them on their feet. Now, well, let's see. The Quarians could possibly be all dead on their flotilla, as well as they can't really eat any of the food in the Sol system or anywhere nearby for that matter. So I will consider this, the Quarians are dead, simply because that huge flotilla really doesn't, I don't think they have the resources necessary to maintain their population if they're stuck on Earth. Even for, moderate amount of time, they would have significant problems. Now, the Krogans, let's just say you can pretty much fuck the whole Krogan race upside down, sideways, and then some more, because if you take up the the Solarian counselor's offer and you basically sabotage the cure, they will die out. Not only that, but a lot of them die and will die in the battle. So I'm guessing that the Krogan are dead. So let me just make the note: Batarians, Turians, Quarian, Krogan. That's what we've got so far. In the destroy ending, we know that the Geth get wiped out because for some reason they couldn't distinguish between Reaper code and Geth code, so all synthetics are now gone. All AI are now gone. Now, that really is very, very annoying, but let's just move on. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 species so far that are gone. The next one, humans. I'll say the humans are basically fucked, let's be honest. In the lowest EMS version, pretty much everybody on Earth is gone, let's be honest. A lot of the colonies have been abducted and processed in Mass Effect 2. So that was hundreds of thousands of colonists that went missing during and before we started playing Mass Effect 2. So that was significant casualties as it was, not to mention the casualties in Mass Effect 1 for saving the Destiny Ascension and all that. So that was a lot of people again. And now in Mass Effect 3, the whole planet is destroyed, and basically everybody on the Citadel as well could be dead, especially when that explosion goes off and we can see them rebuilding giant chunks of the Citadel. Now, it may not look huge when you look at it, but you gotta think the whole section, a whole like plate, wing, whatever you want to call it, of the Citadel is 44 kilometers long. So if you see, like half of it broken off and destroyed into chunks, that's over 20 kilometers of station space destroyed and exposed to the vacuum. So everybody on that side and the other side are now exposed to the vacuum and are dead. So I will say that humans have very slim chances of pulling through this one. So humans are now gone from the Mass Effect series. Asari had their home planet conquered, and very bad things happened to them, and really a lot of bad things happen all around to everybody. So I don't really know a lot about the Asari, but I will guess that if all these mentioned above have very good chances or are actually in-game said gone, like the Geth and the Batarians, I will say that the Asari are gone as well, even though I will cry over that. But anyway, Asari are now gone as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races that are gone so far. Now, what is left? We've got some minor races. The only other one that I can think of that is, mentioned more than the other ones would be Solarians, which I'm not sure, but I guess I'll count them on the dead pile as well. The other ones would be, the only ones that I haven't talked about is Yogs, which probably won't be wiped out because they don't really have any spacefaring technology because they've been grounded. So I'm not really sure what to say about that one. And then we have the Volus, which I'm not really sure what happens to them. The Elcor, the Hanar, and the Drell. I think that is all the species, though I could be missing some. But still, we have huge casualties, and I don't see the point of continuing the story in the Destroy ending. And now in the Synthesis, I don't even know what to say about that one, so I'm just going to skip it and say it doesn't make any sense. And there's no way that's going to be canon if they pick one rather than go with all three, or, just give up on the whole idea, because there's no way they can continue the storyline. Now, this is something that I want to address next. There is only actually one solid main storyline to the Mass Effect universe. There are no parallel universes, there is no time travel, there is none of that. So what happens, and it's fact. Okay? Okay, glad we got that straightened out. Whew, I needed a break after the last bit, but I was trying to make this video short, but it's gonna end up being a massive video. Now, anyway, we've talked about some of the endings, and I just don't get it. But anyway, now I want to talk about the problem that they will need to overcome if they're going to make the Mass Effect 4 game work. Now, the fact that Shepard's story is over is a very big problem. Why is it? Well, simply because if Shepard is gone, I don't see why any of your teammates should still be around. So that means Liara, Tali, Garrus, Rex, Morden, which actually he is dead, I think, no matter what, except for one possibility if you're a renegade where he basically goes into hiding, I guess, but don't know if I can count that one. I'm not really sure what to say about it. But basically all the characters that you know and love should not be there or are already dead because you messed things up in the second game, in which case, what is wrong with you? But let's get over that fact and keep going. They will need to make new characters, new support characters, new NPCs, new everything. And the only problem is, because everybody cares about the current ones, they will have a lot of problem. They will basically, it's almost impossible for them to have the same success that they had before, because even if they make, interesting characters, we're just gonna go, oh well, he is definitely a clone of, let's just say he's definitely a clone of Rex, and I just can't get into it because it just reminds me of Rex, and I just can't play the game because, oh well. But if they actually get past that, I'm not really sure how, because, it actually has a lot of problems. This isn't the Legend of Zelda series. We can't just go, oh, well, we'll just forget all that happened and start over again. It doesn't work that way. So I don't see any games happening in the future, but there could be games that take place before all the events in the current Mass Effect series take place, like the First Contact War, or maybe the Arachni Wars that happened 2,000 years ago. Now, I'll just have to say this. While I love the idea of playing a game that is focused around the Arachni Wars and, what was going on during that time period, I don't think it's going to happen, simply because it happened way too long ago and humans are not part of the game. And so I don't think that BioWare will make a game that is 100% alien. There needs to be humans in the game because, hey, we're humans, we're playing it. We need that human element in the game, if you want to call it that. So even though it would be a really interesting setting, and I really do want to see, what happened, and maybe see what the Arachni were like before they got mind controlled by Sovereign, or whatever you want to call it. Indoctrinated, I guess. I should probably get back into my Mass Effect terminology, but moving on from that, I don't think it's going to happen simply because there isn't that human element. So the only option really that's left in this timeline that they could, cling to is the First Contact War. Now, I could give two very good examples why this would be an amazing game, and I have them in my hand. Two games that sort of have the feel and look that I think about when I imagine the First Contact War, and that would be the Red Faction games, because, let's be honest, it isn't going to be as technologically advanced as the current series is. So the technology will be a bit more primitive, but it wouldn't be so primitive that it's still space level technology. So if you look at the Red Faction series, it does kind of have that feeling, as well as you have to think about it. In that war, when the humans were fighting the Turians, they basically had the edge over us. So there would be a lot of, like saboteurish kind of strategies going on, being employed by us humans. And that would be the second game that I have right here in my hand by Pandemic, the Saboteur, which is really what I'm imagining you'd be doing in Mass Effect 4, the First Contact War, if that would be what it would be called. if anybody that's watching this video to this point, if you've watched 20 minutes of me talking about Mass Effect, you deserve an achievement, and I mean it. So basically, if anybody has played the Saboteur game, you basically know what it's all about. Oh, what's his name? Devlin, something Devlin. Um, he basically gets caught in some Nazi experiments, things, secrets, whatever you want to call it. And then he goes to Paris and he just messes with them in a lot of ways and like, bombs them and stuff like that. So that would be what I'm imagining you're doing in the Red Faction sort of, environment, but in the Mass Effect, universe, which is actually really interesting if you think about it. And they would really have to do it in a Dragon Age kind of way because you could have the origins. You could have characters that come from different backgrounds. You could have an engineer that is very tech savvy and is very good with explosives and tinkering with stuff like that and can help back engineer some of the technology that we get from downed Turian warships or fighter jets, so we can add it to our own technology. Or maybe you could actually be a just common soldier like Shepard was in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. And then you would be more of a soldier that has to make connections with those kinds of people to get backing, to get more technology to help the cause. So the thing is, if we focus on that first Contact War scenario, there would be only enough content for a game, I think, because I don't like games being short. I actually enjoy a game that has quite the bulk to it, that, takes a significant amount of time for you to complete, because the way I play my games when I have free time is I will sit upwards of 10 hours if I have the time just playing and getting immersed in the game. So if the game is too short, then I will just not have it will just not last, and it will lose points with me, to be honest, because I could basically finish a game in a day. I've finished quite a lot of my games in a day, actually, or in 2 days, depending on the game. But, well, to give an example, I finished Dragon Age 2 in about 2.5 days or so, and I've played like 50 hours, so you can tell how much I played in one day. And that is simply because I actually enjoyed the game. So, yeah, let's just move on. Now, that is basically all that I have to say on the matter, and I actually hope that the new game that they're gonna come out with is gonna do the series justice and is gonna redeem themselves from the ending of Mass Effect 3, because the ending to Mass Effect 3 was a huge slap to me personally, and if I bring it back to how I felt when the game came out, I went and bought the limited edition and I sat and played it the whole weekend and did nothing else. And I was trying to get into it, but for some reason I felt a very big disconnect all the way throughout the game, from when I started playing it all the way to the end, and it only got worse towards the end. Now there was that one gem in that game, that is the Tuchanka mission, that I actually loved and would replay at any time. But the rest of the game is just no. And if they come out with a new game, I really do hope it's gonna be the next best Mass Effect game. Um, so yeah, that's all I have to say on the Mass Effect series. I didn't think I would do a video this long, but oh well. I guess it had to be done because, to be honest, I did actually want to get it off my mind, because it really has been very, very in the back of my mind for quite a while. Now, I have some other games that I've been replaying, and I have some videos that I could do, so if you guys want to see more videos, you can click the subscribe button, and I will upload another video shortly when I have the time. Thank you guys for sitting and watching this long video. If you've watched it, I thank you, and I will see you guys next time. So, bye.